Welcome everyone to another edition of Decoded, where we take all of these mystical concepts and holistic practices and just decode it for you so that you have an array of tools at your disposal to assist you with your healing journey. Today, I am so blessed to have my dear friend and collaboration partner, Kim Cardiel, and we are going to be talking about Akashic Records. How are you, Kim?
Hi, excited to be here. You know, I love spending time with you and exchanging energy. So this is
Ah,
going to be
I love
amazing.
it. I
Yes,
absolutely love it. So let's jump into it right away.
yes, yes.
So, Akashic records are often very described in very mystical terms or very occult terms or terms that sometimes made it inaccessible to the lamest people and the people like the regular people of the world. If you were going to decode Akashic records in a way that people can understand, how would you describe what Akashic records are?
So, for people who don't believe in reincarnation or anything like that, I think no matter how you describe it, it's gonna be a hard way to decode it, right? But for
Yeah.
those who do, the Akashic Records is simply your soul's library. So every thought that you've had, every emotion, memories, lifetimes are recorded in the Akashic records. So it's your soul's memories. So like as a human like Kim, I have all these memories that I've made as Kim, but the Akashic records holds all my lifetimes. Like as Kim, Bob, Jenny, Ray. I feel like I
I
was
love it.
mostly men in most of my lifetime. So it's pretty much long story short to Dakota. It's your soul's library. It's a record of all of the things that you have done, that you've accomplished, that you still want to do, because it also holds all your future possibilities. So any thought you've had, like, I want to go be Beyonce. That's recorded in the records. They're like, oh, okay, she wants to go be Beyonce. All right, so let's see what she creates with that. Just by thinking it, you've put it into the field. So all the possibilities are there as well in the Akashic records.
And I freaking love, I truly, truly love that you talk about possibilities of the future because a lot of people that are vaguely familiar say, well, this is fortune telling. And I personally, this is my own belief, and I would love to hear what is yours, is that you cannot necessarily predict 100% of the future because there's so many choices in the middle. So how can you differentiate and explain a little bit more exactly what you talk about future possibilities versus fortune telling?
Yeah, it's funny because my mom calls me a fortune teller, and I'm like, stop calling me that. I'm not a fortune teller. And I love it because I've heard other intuitive people talk about it as well, is that nothing is set in stone. That's why I said the Akashic Records, it holds all of the future possibilities. Remember that game we played in school where it's like pick a
Yeah.
color? And then it's
Yes,
like pick a letter. But I told people that is literally how your life works. You make a choice, and then based on that choice, you're creating these other choices.
I
So
love
based on
it.
and then each time you make based on your choices, you are giving yourself more opportunities. So depending
Yeah.
on the choice that you make, that is what's gonna manifest the next step, the next opportunity. So that is why when people say fortune telling, like there are some things. Okay, so let's say for instance, when I'm doing a reading and I'm tapping in for someone, I can say, I feel like you're gonna start dating in about 3 to 6 months. I just did this reading, as a matter of fact, and the guy kind of looks like JFK Jr. Well, it's funny because this girl's like 27, right? So she was like, "Is he hot?" I'm like, "Girl, do you not know who JFK Jr. is?" And my husband was like, "You need newer references. He died when she was like 2." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I need newer references." So it's like things like that, like I
Yeah.
know are coming, right? Because that
Yeah.
possibility, she has already opened up that timeline.
I
That
love it.
possibility is coming in. It's coming. I see it. As far as like, am I going to be a CEO of this company? When I'm reading the records, I will see it is a possibility. But what I'm seeing is that you need to work on your boundary. Because if you don't have the
Mm.
boundaries that you need to say, no, I'm confident in this answer, this is the way we're going, like a CEO, then you might still get there, but it might take 10 years instead of 5, or it might take 15 years instead of 2, or you might get tired of it and then go for something else completely. And none of that is wrong. None of it.
I freaking love exactly what you said. And I really want to dig into it. I knew this conversation was going to be. um, I really want to dig into it because one of the things that I tell people when they are going to get an Akashic Records reading, do not ask when, because it just depends on you. So tell me more about that example of a person. Am I going to be this or am I going to be that? And their choices and their learning. Because I
Oh,
I agree 100% with it.
the biggest one I get, especially like when I'm live on TikTok, is when am I going to meet the love of my life? When am I going to meet the love of my life? When am I going to meet the love of my life? And I say to them, that's up to you, because again, I tell them, okay, I'm going to tap into your energy right now. And what I'm seeing is that you give yourself completely to a relationship, and you think by being this amazing girlfriend that is going to make this man love you, and you don't open your heart up to receive anything from him. And then when the relationship doesn't work out, you're thinking, oh my God, there's something wrong with me. What did I not do? No, the problem was you were doing too much. You were just
Yeah.
giving instead of receiving, and there was no energy exchange, right? So I'm telling you this is how your energy is laying right now. So you could decide after me giving you this information, ma'am, because right now, the way I'm reading your energy, I see someone coming in. Let me go back to this girl for example. I'm going to combine 2 stories. So this
Yeah,
isn't
go for
a
it.
thing. So if I would have said that to this girl, I would have said, okay, I see him coming in about 3 to 6 months. But tomorrow, so the next day after I give a reading, 2 things can happen. That person can get scared and let fear come into their space and be like, oh my God, 3 to 6 months, that's so long. Like, I'm going to a wedding tomorrow and I really wanted to meet the guy this weekend. If I don't meet him this weekend, then, you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
go into the fear, or go into the, you know what? She's right. I do give too much. I do. Next relationship, I do need to let him open up my door. I do. Because the thing is, 2 people aren't honest with themselves. I
Yes.
want a man that's going to open the door and open up my car door. And oh, but this is 2026. People don't do that. Right away, you're blocking it. You're blocking it. You're not even allowing that to come into your space.
Yeah.
So she could wake up and be like, you know what? Kim was right. I do need to let somebody wine and dine me. And so by her thoughts shifting, she is now shifting into that timeline where the man is going to like open the doors. And that's why I tell people, my clients, what timeline, how do you want your life to be? Move in that direction. Nobody's
Yeah.
stopping you but
I
you.
think I love that you mentioned that this is, by the way, for everyone listening, this is not about feminism and this is not about anything of that. This is about energy exchange.
And choices. Yes.
But once you open it, and we women are fantastic, even with compliments. Oh my God, how beautiful you look. I immediately will deflecting. Oh, this old thing, right? So we women are deflective. When you deflect one thing, you block the flow. So I love how you mentioned that, because it's so true. We are not, I love that golden nugget. We are just not honest with
We're not
ourselves.
honest. You have to be honest with yourself. And it's crazy too, like a lot of the men, I have more female clients, but I gotta say I do have a lot of male clients too. And it makes me so happy that men are opening up more to their feeling.
I
I'm
love it.
feeling something and I want to know why I'm feeling this. Like I do Reiki sessions. Like I just did one on a couple. They just had a baby. And it was such beautiful energy to see how they're working with on themselves individually and how they have come together as a family and what
Um,
they've created. And men are more open to getting readings, and they're more open, like I said, to being honest. I'm not okay.
yeah.
Men are taught suck it up. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're fine. You're fine. Like you can't have feelings. Like, and that's not the case. It's like, feel the feelings. Feel the feelings.
I love it. And talking a little bit about that, we talk about your examples of when am I going to meet that right person? When am I going to get the job, etc. What can people, what would be the main reasons? What could be many of the reasons that people can tap into the Akashic Records for?
Honestly, the Akashic Records like is now taking out the future possibilities part. It really helps you to understand your soul. Do you know what I mean? When you
Yeah,
can tap into things that you've done in past lifetimes, you can recognize the patterns that you've established. And that is why we reincarnate, because you, let's say you want to, I want to go experience this, and the whole lifetime you were supposed to have hope, but you had no hope. Ah, this is my life. And then you die with no hope. You're going to go back down with the same circumstances. Maybe you could be black and a male in one lifetime, and then a white female in another lifetime. None of that's going to matter. The whole it's about your soul, and the whole purpose of a life is about hope. So if you don't learn to have hope, you're going to keep coming down, and it's not linear either. It's not like
yeah,
one lifetime and then you jump right into the next. That's the best part. We're out there having all kinds of adventures. You know what I mean? So when you're not, it helps when you see the records, like recognizing the patterns in your behavior, in your choices, in your manifestations or lack thereof, you know?
yeah,
And people don't realize, if you just worry about yourself,
yeah.
it's crazy how magical life becomes,
Oh, yes. Yeah.
you
And
know?
I don't want people to misinterpret about like being self-centered,
Mm,
because that approach is more ego-based, me
mm,
before everyone else. We are here talking about energy. If you worry about being the best person that you can be, the most loving, the most centered of it all, worry about yourself. Everything else replicates. I agree 100% with you. I
yeah,
really,
they and what people forget is the fine print under everything. The fine print under everything is with no harm done to others.
yes, 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 yes.
With no harm done to others. I know for a fact that I chose to have kids in this lifetime late at 39 and 40, because I am here to tell those moms and give moms of every age and dads permission to fill your cup. You
Yeah,
know, you can, you, it absolutely, like these parents are like, oh, my life is all about my kids. Great, do that. But then once they graduate high school, don't stay stuck in that programming. Now it's your turn. That's why I said, I listen, the moms that are all about their kids, I don't judge that. Good for you. That's not for me. I like to have my
yeah,
events. I just came back from Vegas with my husband. We needed it. Like I don't feel guilty about taking those weekends away with my husband. We fill our cup so that we're able to pour out to our children. Do you know what I mean? So again, those parents that are like, I could never, I take my kids everywhere. Good for you. Great.
yeah.
And I hope that you're also loving yourself and you pour into yourself. What, you know, we're here to all hold space for each other. And
I love that.
I'm not here. My ego isn't big enough to be like, I'm here to raise my children. Man, let me tell you something. These kids have taught me more about myself in these last 9 years than I think I've taught them about them. You know what I mean? Like witnessing them, getting to hold space for them in a different way that I didn't have. And then seeing the pendulum on the other side of that. Like my son is so spoiled, you know, he behaves in ways that I would never. And now I'm like, what's happening? And again, let's tap into the records. What's the pattern here? How can we, and I don't say fix. So I say words are important. I don't say, how can we
Yeah,
fix this? If I say, how can we fix this? I'm assuming that something is broken. Nothing is broken in my life. Nothing. We are all evolving. We are all shifting. We are all growing. We are all learning. We are experiencing. We're observing. We're holding. We're moving. We're doing all those
yes,
things. We're not fixing. You know what
yeah.
I mean? We're not
I love
fixing
it.
anything.
I freaking love it because I that's what we came here for, to experience everything and retain what serves and release what doesn't. And it's just that
Yeah.
differentiation of what works and what doesn't where we struggle the most. So I freaking love it. What kind of questions would you recommend someone that is having an Akashic record reading for the first time? What kind of questions would you recommend for them to, what questions should they not ask?
The questions that I like, I'm gonna start with don't ask. Like, am I gonna get pregnant? That's one that people are always asking. Or like, I mean, I really don't think there's anything they shouldn't add, because it's
Yeah.
so. Let me take that back to like ask away, like because the Akashic Records is infinite. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't know if there's anything. I think that's more of like a tarot or oracle reading, where I'm like, don't ask me if you're gonna get pregnant. But with the Akashic Records, I don't think that there's really anything I would consider off topic. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That they couldn't ask. What they should ask, literally anything and everything. Like, where, but things that like instead of saying like, when am I going to get a job? Ask questions like, what career do you see is most in alignment with my highest vibration?
I
Do you know what I
love
mean?
that
So
question.
yeah, so we ask questions like that. Like, and so like when people ask me questions like, when am I going to get a job? That's why I'm like, let's rephrase it to where do you see me in alignment with my highest frequency? Because a job is a job, right? But
Yeah.
how, like, don't you want to be in alignment with your joy and your happiness, and that's how you bring money in?
I freaking,
Because
oh my God, I love what you're saying. And this could be the rest of the conversation because I freaking love what you're saying. A lot of times when I work with people, they always said, this job is toxic. And I'm not negating that a job is toxic. Okay. But you have to also understand how have you contributed to that toxicity because if you say to the you go to the new job, you take yourself with you. And the same patterns and behaviors are going to cause for that toxicity to come in the new job. So I freaking love that you basically bounce the question back in terms of not when, but how are you going to get in alignment? Yeah, what is
because
that? Can you give me another example of another question that you have helped kind of rephrase? I love that.
yeah, so like even like with the relationships, like when am I going to meet my husband or when am I going to meet my wife? And I'm like, okay, well, let's ask the question. It's what blocks or karmic debts or things in my past am I holding on to that is causing this block? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? For my relationship. Because you can ask, when is my love going to come in? And then my question is, well, when are you going to let it in? If love
yes,
isn't coming in, it's because you're not letting it in. Or if you keep having the same type of relationship, it's because that's the type of energy that you keep putting out. So
yeah,
why don't we ask? Because, like you said, you can leave a toxic job. But guess what, sunshine? You could be walking right into another toxic environment. And it's
yeah,
you. It's how you perceive it. I have one client who I love to death. I mean, she's been a client for years. And I told her 6 years ago she could leave her job. And she said she couldn't. Fear will leave somewhere miserable. And I'm like, if you were to leave and make and open it up, you would be opening up that space for something new to come in, but your
yeah,
your space is full. You got this much space and you have filled it with things that do not work for you. And that is why, and you're like this, you can't even see, what else is
yeah,
out there until you start removing this stuff. This isn't working for me. This isn't working for me. But it comes down to, again, what? You being honest with you. This is not
yes,
working. This is not working. Oh, maybe this isn't working because I don't have boundaries. Maybe this isn't working because I got an attitude problem. Maybe this isn't working because I'm holding on to my childhood trauma and reflecting that out everywhere. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean? That's why I said it's always about you, and it comes back to you, how you react, how you think, and then the stories that you're telling yourself. Why are you saying that it's this?
yeah,
And is it really this? Like, is that guy really a jerk? Or how is, and again, like you said, not to negate that that person isn't a jerk or is, but it doesn't matter. It comes down
yeah,
to what are you willing to put up with? And if you
yeah,
say to yourself, I cannot work here, then you get to decide. And then sometimes, like I said, it's the whole career, like nursing,
yeah,
for example, and I'm just picking, I'm not saying nursing in general, but like, let's say you're at a hospital and it's toxic and you're a nurse. So where would you go? Another hospital. You don't like that. Then you go into home health care. That's toxic. But you spend all this money being a nurse and you
yeah,
want to be a nurse. So figure out a way being a nurse is going to work for you. You don't
Yes.
have to. The problem is people get stuck. I have to do this. I have to do that. No,
Yeah.
that's why I also like the Akashic Records for the future possibilities. Because again, somebody will be like, I'm miserable at my job. How can I move? And then I'll sit there and I'll tap into the records and I'm like, I will literally see them like traveling. And I'm going to be like, well, I see you traveling. Why don't you be a home health nurse? Oh my God, I would love to do that, but I can't travel because I got this dog. And okay, then suffer for your dog. I don't, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Do you know what I mean? Like you literally could have this whole, and this person would be like, oh my God, I love to travel. That sounds like a dream. Oh my gosh, yes, I love, but my dog, like, so get a dog sitter. Like make it work. Like people spend
Yeah.
so much time staying in places that don't work. They spend
Yes.
all that time and energy. You don't realize you're expending time, energy, all these things that if you could be pouring that into something that's actually in alignment,
Yes.
all the things that would happen. Like,
Yes.
oh, you mean I could
And
take my dog with me? I mean, how do you not know that's a possibility? You haven't even tried. You're just
yes.
saying no right away. No.
It is 100% true, and something that I wanted to add to that perspective. I do not think we are advocating for 100% of the people to quit their jobs,
Yeah, well, I'm not
but
doing that. Yeah.
there's nothing preventing you to start doing the research. What are the possibilities? Can I take my dog? What are the because once you take the first smidge of a space forward, everything else starts slowly unfolding. So yeah, we just get stuck in these cycles.
I am living proof. Okay. Before, up until the age of 35, I was an actor, a singer, a comedian, and I bartended and I waited tables and I was managing restaurants. When I had an existential crisis, I was breaking down. I knew I needed to go to rehab, but I was not honest with myself. I refused to say I have a problem and I need help. I refused to be honest with myself. Came to Pittsburgh, ran my mom's store, and then I was like so miserable. And I thought to myself, this is my punishment. Because I decided to do all those things, this is my punishment. And I'm gonna have to work here for my mom for the rest of my life because all I know is the only talent I have is telling jokes and making drinks. That's all I'm capable of. That's all I do. That's all I limited myself. And then after I was like, I can't be here. So I tried selling, I joined a multi-level marketing company, right? This girl, she got me into it. And that didn't, and during that multi-level marketing company was the catalyst for my relapse. That relapse is what caused me to go to rehab. I had to be honest. For the first
Yeah.
time in my life, I have a problem. I went to rehab. So for the first time in my life, I had to sit down. I'm a Capricorn, Scorpio, Leo. I am like, go, 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 go. So I was forced to sit down. And then I said, okay, so I just focused on the healing. I focused on me instead of everybody else, what I needed to be doing, what I should be doing. Oh my God, I'm 39. Or 42 at that point. I'm such a loser. No, let's just heal. Let's just focus on healing. Then the Reiki came into my life. Then I started doing the Reiki. Then I was able to shut down my store last year. And then here I am now. I make my own schedule. I'm able to be with my kids until they graduate high school. These are the important parts of their life right now, from 8 to 18. And now I'm
Yeah.
here. I know who all of their friends are. I'm experienced things with educators because I did not have good experiences with educators coming from an immigrant family, and trying to navigate that now as a parent, without bringing in all my childhood trauma. So all of that, and all I kept saying was, it's a possibility, it's a possibility, it's a possibility. And I just came back from Vegas and I stayed at the Bellagio. I have been to Vegas numerous amounts of times ever since the 80s when my family would drive from Montana to California. We would stop in Vegas. Never even put it the realm of the possibility of staying there ever, ever. I was like, I wouldn't, like, only super wealthy people stay there, right? I had such a surreal moment this last weekend where I was like,
Amazing.
look at me. I wanted to be the hot housewife. of a businessman who was going to take me on fancy trips where I could wear fancy dresses, and I'll be damned if he did if this what is happening right now? You know what I mean? But the fact that I also have my own business.
Yeah.
Like I'm very successful at what I do. Like and I don't feel ego saying it. Like I worked hard to get here. And
Yeah.
that's why I want to tell people, if I can go from that to this, it's literally shifting timelines and anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Literally, you can do it. I had to work at that retail store from hours until 8 o'clock. And then I came home and did Reiki Monday, Wednesday, Friday from May until November. May, June, July, August, September, October, November, like 6, 7 months before I was like, okay, now I'm going to start charging people. I feel
Wow.
confident enough to start charging people, right? But I wanted it so bad that I created it.
I
I didn't
love it.
say, I'm too tired, I can't do it. No. When you're thirsty and you want something bad enough, the only one stopping you is you. You will find a way.
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot agree with you anymore. And I could highlight 20 things that you have said in this last couple of minutes between the self-guilt and the self-punishment that sometimes we don't even recognize that we are self-punishing ourselves, which is actually the scary part. And the
Yes.
other aspect is, oh my goodness, I don't have time because I already work. I hear that all the time in my practice. I don't have time. I already work. I leave my house at 7. I blah blah blah. Well, sometimes it may require you to wake up at 4 a.m. I don't know what to tell you. But and the final aspect, if you want it bad enough, is so very true. So very true. One question, what has been, whether you're reading your own Akashic records or reading someone else's, what has been the biggest transformation that you have seen based on the guidance that has come from the records?
People stepping into their power. Like I had one girl who came to me and she had gone to many readers. And after I did her Akashic Records reading and I told her who she actually was in some of her past lives, she was this very powerful Chinese empress. And she literally looked her up and found her.
Wow.
And I was like, that's who, like I gave her details. I gave her exact details. She looked up this empress and the details I had given her were in this woman's history. Exact details. So there was no doubt that that's who she was in another
Wow.
timeline. And once I gave her that information, she went to a Joe Dispenza weekend, which I was jealous. I was like, girl, I want to go to a Joe Dispenza weekend retreat. You know, I got these kids and bills and soccer fees, but one day, right? Limiting myself one day. So she went right away, went to this Joe Dispenza thing, and just instantly stepped into her power. And that's kind of like what happened with me. Like once I took my Reiki class,
Yeah.
there was no stopping me after that. I was
Yeah.
like, I want it all. Then I took the Akashic Records, Tarot, Oracle, Animal Reiki, Yasui Reiki, Kid Reiki, all of it. Like, and it
Yeah.
just exploded. And now I'm so in alignment that I don't do anything that I don't want to. And if I literally like, oh, I want to do that. Like, dressing up as a K-pop demon hunter and doing birthday parties. My husband was like, what is happening right now? Like, why are you doing that? I go, because there are no Asians doing it and I have to represent. Like, yeah, like I put on my Halloween costume and did 2 birthday parties and got paid very well. Thank you very much. So, yeah, why not?
That is
Why not?
amazing. And I think if I was gonna summarize, it's just a lot of people feel this is very interesting, and I want to get your perspective. People feel trapped. I feel trapped job by my circumstances, etc. I cannot get in alignment because alignment will trap me. It's just like holding me. But you were already trapped by all of these circumstances. An alignment is just to basically come back to the truth of who you are to experience freedom.
Yes.
And there's nothing like that feeling of complete freedom.
Yeah.
I freaking love that. Kim, we could spend the whole day talking and talking, and I will never get tired of talking about this with you.
I know.
How can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram and TikTok at the Hapa Healer. So it's TheHapa Healer, the Hapa Healer. And on Facebook, I'm Kim Cardiel Early or Aloma Healing, which is my healing business. I did have a website and I got rid of it because let me tell you why nobody went to it. I had this beautiful website and everybody insists on text messaging me or Instagramming me or TikToking me. And I'm okay with that. So for now, no website. So again, Instagram, TikTok, find me on there. I do lots of events all over Pittsburgh. So you can find my events. I always post them on the Instagram. Yeah. And just
Awesome. I'm gonna put
I'll come to you.
all of the tags in the
Yeah.
comment section so that they can find you. And for
Yeah.
those people who are not in Pittsburgh listening to this, I have several clients that are definitely not in Pittsburgh. Kim is an avid social media presence that has followers all over the world. So please don't be
Yeah.
shy to reach out to her and
Oh
get some
yeah.
of that magic with it.
Yeah, I know. It's that's what like the power of the internet. It blows my mind that I have clients in like New Zealand, Ireland, England, Canada, just like all over. So yeah, don't be shy. But yeah,
Awesome. Well, it's always a joy sending you a
always
great virtual
abrazos.
hug.
Yes,
And
always.
thank you everyone for joining. Don't hesitate to reach out to Kim, and
Thank
hopefully
you.
those tidbits of information today can give you guidance towards the questions that you are going to ask your Akashic
Yeah.
Records. Bye bye.